What's up? Good. All right.
TJ, when you look at the first three games, I think you guys are allowing like 76 yards per game on the ground. I think that's fourth best in the league, under 4 per carry. Just what has been so good about what you guys have done against the run up front?
I think, just everybody's committed to it. I think everybody knows, like, it's important to stop. You don't really want teams to be two-dimensional on you. Then the whole playbook's open. You want to kind of limit teams to being one-dimensional, and I think that's a good job about us. I mean, even last year before I got here, the guys were really focused on it, and I think, that part about our defense is part of our identity.
For a couple of weeks now, I guess, what is the one thing that you've learned from playing in the games that maybe you weren't aware of heading into it?
There's a lot of good players with a lot of, awareness out there. Always knew the guys were good. I mean, watching practices, I was on the sideline kind of, watching, being able to tell, guys were really, really good. But I think more so just the in-game awareness is just heightened. Like, you see guys, there's not a lot of, run after catch. Guys are, catching tackles in phase. Guys are paying attention to details of keeping the quarterback in the pocket, things like that. And I think that's important. You don't, you look around the league and you don't see that everywhere. So I think that's a very important thing to have.
After watching practice,
Yeah.
at this point, what's your first impressions of him?
He's got a big bag of moves. He can do a lot of things, and a very athletic player who also plays with a tremendous amount of strength. And you don't really find that combination in a lot of players. So it's kind of special to see. And then just his poise. He's out there being a leader. He's got that C on his chest, and he comes to work every day and works very hard.
You've been through situations before, both I'm sure seeing teammates and
Yeah.
seeing yourself when injuries mount like they have this past week. Can you just explain that mentality? I mean, we all know it's next man up, but when you lose a significant player like a Marcus, like a Barnes first.
It's super unfortunate. You never want to lose one of your brothers. The reality of it is we all know it's a part of the game, and they know it, we know it. So they're going to be here. They're part of us. You don't lose them. They always come with you. You know what I'm saying? You just bring those guys with you, and you hope that you can be there in their corner as the battle that they're going through. You know that it's a tough battle for them. And the best thing you can do as a teammate is just shine that light on the team, show them what they've helped build and what they've helped grow didn't go wasted.
Banged up and may or may not play, but Kenneth Walker really seems to have a lot of success in this league in an unconventional way. When you look at the film, what do you see from that guy?
He's a talented back. His contact balance is crazy. I remember playing him last year. His contact balance is insane. He's fast. He can do all the things. You know what I'm saying? A very special back. But he's just been on and off, like you said, been banged up a little bit. But I think that's a little bit to do with his contact balance is insane. He can stay up off a lot of hits. He's got big legs, and he's very special with the ball in his hand. So I think you just really try to do your best to limit him. Try to make sure that you're playing your gaps and make him, have to break tackles and everybody rally to the ball.
I don't know when the last time you played Seattle was, but they got a lot of new faces, coaching staff. How different is the run game now than what it was?
I hadn't got a chance to look at him as much yet. I mean, it's early in the week, but I think just the guys they have up front I've played against. There are new faces, but I've played against Lincoln, I've played against Connor. So the guys up front in their offense I've played against a couple times. And the back special, I think, just getting it to them, just getting the ball in his hands, and no matter what way, whether that's gap scheme, zone scheme, run game, it's important to get that guy touches. So I think they try to do that by committee. And even the backup kid, the kid out of, what did he go to, UCLA? I think that kid's doing a really good job in year 2 of just trying to expand upon his role in that offense.
What's your opinion of Kai Wingo and the opportunities he's got?
He's doing really well, man. I love my dog Wingo, man. He's doing really good. Chasing tackles, playing hard. That's what it's about as a young player. There might not be a lot of opportunities out there, but you go make them for yourself. And Wingo chasing the ball after plays. Those plays are important. Those plays help us from stopping them from getting first downs, keeping them in third downs, and things like that. And it might go unseen to the naked eye, but the way he's playing is really, really encouraging. Maybe early when I was in Houston with this much depth. Maybe then. I think a lot of guys that I played with then probably, around that time. But I haven't been on a team with this much overall talent. It's kind of, it's very special. You got guys in every position that I think, are premier players in this league at every single level of football. So, that's kind of cool to see. And also, that a lot of higher draft picks and not even that part, just more so guys who understand ball, who are really young and hungry and eager to learn and be special. So that's cool.
Played 25 snaps each of the first 2 games.
Yeah.
And I think probably more accustomed to playing 40, 45 in your
Yeah.
career. How close do you feel back to normal DJ Reader?
I feel fine. Feel like I'm getting there. When you first get out there, I mean, maybe just for me, maybe not for everybody, but you feel a little bit like a baby giraffe out there. Just kind of, I was actually called JJ after the game, and I talked to him about it. I just texted him about it, and was just like, yo, like he's like, it's just a part of it. You're getting your legs up under you. But, there's plays where I feel amazing. So I'm starting to feel really, really good. Soreness this week after that game is down, so I'm feeling really well. JJ, yeah. So I always get to chat with him. It's interesting seeing him on the broadcasting side now, so it's kind of cool. You get to chat with him, just still talk about it. Yeah. Pretty close. He's a good friend. He's a good man and a really good friend to have. I'm blessed to have him in my life and somebody to be able to talk to like that. Yeah. My locker was right beside his too. Coming to the league, it's kind of crazy. Walking in and you're like, dog, this guy's 3-time defensive player of the year. Like, this is J.J. Watt. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? I'm walking out of college as a 21-year-old kid, and I'm like, man, my locker's right next to him. So he's been a pretty big influence in my life, a good friend.
Just to go back to the run game, I'm curious, with the linebackers, how is the linebackers and, I guess, defensive line been able to work in tandem to help kind of create that style?
We try to keep those guys clean, and they try to come downhill and make sure the play doesn't last too long for us. And that's the way it's supposed to work. It makes it very simple. They do a good job of that, and we try to do a good job of slimming those gaps up, making sure those guys can come down there and make plays. I was telling them yesterday the other day on the bus, I was like, man, you guys are gonna have to slow down. I'm used to make a little bit more plays. Like y'all coming downfield a little too fast. I don't got to hold the blocks as long, but used to getting a couple more tackles in there. But it's been special. It's been fun.
Coach talked yesterday about missing Marcus and what he does on the edge, and that Josh would be one of the guys chief that would step in there. What have you seen from Josh Pascal that he'll bring?
Very, very physical player. Has made a lot of growth. A young man who I think has stuck with the process, who comes in and he works hard. He's consistent. And I think that's what it takes in this league to go on to be a good pro. You got to be consistent and work at what you think you're good at. And he's done that, and he's done everything our coaches have asked him to do. So I think he's in a unique position that he's about to get a lot more opportunity, and I think he's ready for it. I think he plays very physical. He's athletic and can play. I think it's a little bit different style than what Marcus does in a different way, but I think he's just as special of a player, and he's ready for opportunity. Thank you. No problem.
Good. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like we're off to a great start this year. And there's just also the encouraging thing is there's just so many areas that we can improve on. And it starts within the linebacker room, but also up front and in the secondary. So all 3 levels just have a lot of improvement to do. But at the same time, you got to look back and be proud of what we've done. And you know what, at the end of the day, all that matters is winning games, no matter what phase. Maybe had an off day, but defensively, that's just our mindset. And that the mindset, I feel like that we've kind of, at least since I've been here last year, we've been trying to build is we're going to win the game every single game. And I feel like you're kind of starting to see that this year. So we just got to keep it up.
It's kind of a collective effort. Anthony was down last week, and then Derek Foss. A lot of people in the linebacker room contributed. Yeah. How did your role change going into that with Alex gone, and how might it change a different way with Derek now out?
Honestly, for me, and I feel like also I can speak on behalf of the linebacker room. I feel like everyone just kind of individually knows that no matter what, they just always prepare they're the starter. And that, you can speak on Malcolm and Ben and even Trevor Nowalski. Now he's going to get thrown into the fire a little bit, but just the guy, I feel like every guy in the room just prepares he's the guy. And I feel like then when your opportunity comes to like step up, you kind of already used to it because you've been doing it in practices and in meetings and doing it by yourself and going through the tape. And I feel like that's just kind of the mentality that we have in that room, just next man up. I mean, it's just unfortunate. Just injuries is a part of the game. And, I mean, you never know who you're going to have week in and week out, so you got to be ready to go no matter if Anzo's up, if D. Barnes is up, if I'm up, Malcolm, Germ. You can go down the list. So.
How much more comfortable do you feel in week 3 of this year compared to week 3 last season?
I mean, obviously, I feel like last year was just so good for me to make that deep playoff run. And then playing the preseason. I mean, I had 2 college seasons last year just of experience and seeing stuff. And I mean, already I can just kind of feel everything better. So it's been great, and we just got to keep the defense playing at a high level. So.
You guys obviously a big emphasis on improving the secondary this offseason, brought some pieces in. Just how much is that improvement? I think you guys ranked 10th in passer rating allowed in the secondary. Just how much of improving that part of the game has helped the defense just overall collectively?
Yeah, I feel like Coach Glenn had a vision bringing some of these acquisitions in and that we brought in this offseason. And I feel like they're playing at a super high level. And also, we have a whole new like secondary staff. So just their ideas that they brought into the building, I think, have been doing great. And AG, I feel like, I wouldn't say he changed his philosophy, but I feel like now that we have some tools back there, he might be calling the game a little bit differently. So I think that's helped in that aspect. But I also think that each guy was brought in for a purpose, not only in the DB room, but the defense and then the whole team. So, I mean, I feel like those guys have done a fantastic job, and I feel like AG's done a fantastic job calling games. So.
He doesn't have to take as many risks. I think you sort of trust in the 4-man rush a little bit more than some of those guys. Is that sort of what you mean?
I would say, like, I just feel like he's putting the guys in the secondary in positions to, like, what they're supposed to do. Like, I feel like we're playing a little bit more man in the back end. And obviously other teams I don't know if they're going to watch this, but, I mean, they're playing just a tad bit more man, and I feel like that's what those guys want, though. They want to go up and challenge and be in a one-on-one matchup. So I would say that was kind of what I was trying to get across in that point. So.
DJ was just up here, and he was asked how the linebackers and defensive line work together. I'm curious from your perspective, when you have a defensive tackle of his skill set, his capability, the way he operates, how does that make your job easier?
It makes it easier on me. Just not only DJ, but I mean DJ, like, it's going to take 2 guys to block him, and then if I'm doing my job and getting downhill and getting him on a one-on-one, he's going to win every single time. And he also does a great job keeping guys off of me so that I can go make plays. So, I mean, having DJ has been fantastic. And again, that's a new defensive line coach, Coach Williams, and he's just been amazing. I mean, a lot of guys from around the league just speak so highly of him. So now that he's here and kind of given his experience and stuff like that, has been amazing. And the interior D-line as a whole has been amazing. And then obviously the edges have been doing what they've been doing. So it's been amazing. Yeah. I just feel like Aiden's the type of guy who's bought in all the time. He's always doing the most. I would say he's always doing the most to be the best version of himself every single day, and he just doesn't strive for anything less than that. So I would say, I mean, you see what you get with him, and he's just always going to give it his all. He's going to do everything in his power to be performing at his best. So as a guy on the defense, I mean, that's just encouraging to see guys individually kind of going out of their way just to show – just through their actions that this is important to them. So it's been amazing to have him around and kind of learn from him too. So.
I don't know how much you dive into their film yet, but how different, like, conceptually is their running game schematically what they do with their new coaches than it was last year?
I've heard it's a little bit more spread out, a little bit more RPO stuff. So I mean, it'll be a challenge. They have really good running backs, I mean, for a linebacker, it's kind of, you think at their offensive line, running backs, and kind of tight ends, but I mean, in all those positions, they have really good guys, so it's going to be a challenge this week. So, I mean, and you kind of know what you're going to get with number 9. I think he's one of the better ones in the NFL at that position, so that'll be a challenge for us. And then Noah Fant, he's a pretty good tight end. So.
You don't have any control of it. What are your thoughts on the early bye week, especially with what's been happening with all the injuries? But at the same time, after the bye, you guys are going to play a long stretch of games without a break.
Yeah, no doubt. The early bye week, I mean, we've had a plethora of injuries just, I would say, in the recent couple weeks. So, I mean, it'll be good, I feel like, in that aspect to get those guys back. But, you know, at the end of the day, it don't matter what week our bye week is. It's a 1-week season. Just win that week and move on and learn from the mistakes and keep it pressing. So, I mean, for me, honestly, personally, I'm just grateful I have a bye week. So, yeah.
So personal. He's a tough guy to replace because he can do so many things.
Exactly.
Who do you see kind of stepping up in his absence?
Yeah, so I mean, D Barnes is just with Derek, like you said, he can do so many things, he's just such a special player. So, kind of not knowing to the extent of that. I mean, coach has probably hit on that, but I mean now, we're gonna need another guy to step up just at the outside backer position, and I feel like we have a great room with that. Obviously, we have some flexibility there, just with like Anzo being able to play multiple positions, Germ being able to play multiple positions, Nick Neiman being able to step in, and I feel like within that nucleus of guys, you're going to see someone step up and just do a fantastic job. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously we haven't started game planning this week, but it'll be interesting to see what happens, and if that does happen, just for me to step up and try to do the best I can. So, yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit different. How much pass rush work?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously coming off of last year, I didn't really have much. I didn't really do much with it. But then last year, when I was in some of those situations, I felt like this year, I wouldn't say I was like a freaking pass rush guru, but I was like doing just like kind of this fundamental stuff and just kind of trying to work on that. I mean, I feel like that's a thing though coming in. Obviously, I'm not looking at next offseason, but when that gets here, that's something that I could continue to work on in there. So. Heck no.
Trevor brings to the table.
Yeah, I feel like Trevor, obviously, I mean, he's going to bring a consistent effort just on, I think he's going to play a huge role in special teams. But then onto the field on the defensive side, he's just going to bring a consistent effort, just hard-nosed. He's just going to make you earn everything. And I feel like that's kind of why they brought him back, for that reasons and those qualities they saw in him. So.
Obviously, a lot of guys in that linebacker room, outside of providing depth for when guys are a little bit banged up. What's the biggest benefit then to just having that many minds and bodies in that room?
I would say you're just always pushing each other, especially mentally. You're just always trying to push each other to see who can get the tendency or the key, but then also helping each other. Like, oh, you didn't see this. This is why. And, like, next time it happens, you should see this. And then, like, just physically, body-wise, I mean, I feel like everyone in that room's an NFL, like, athlete for a reason, so everyone can kind of do everything. But also just the competition within practice and just pushing ourselves to just never be complacent, I would say, and just always want to be better. And, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to win a Super Bowl. But we also, I mean, for me, I want to be the best defense in the NFL. So just being able to continue to push that envelope and compete with each other to just make the team better, I feel like that's been good just within the linebacker room.
How do you judge if you're the best defense in the NFL? Like, is there a statistic? Or what do you look for?
I would just say, I mean, you can look at the statistics at the end of the year. I mean, for me, I just feel like any, like, situational stuff, you want to be, like, I think I want to be first, but it's hard to be first in everything. But you look at third down, you look at red zone. I would say you look at rush yards per attempt, and then pass yards per attempt, and then yards per play. I feel like obviously it's hard to be number one in all those, but I feel like if you want to get to where you want to get, you kind of set those standards for yourself. And man, I don't look at it, but I know statistically, I feel like we really need to improve in the red zone. Third downs, I think we're doing a hell of a job. Rush yards per attempt, I mean, going back to last year, I mean, you know what you're going to get with us. We're going to play downhill and not let you run the ball. And then pass yards, I feel like this season we've done a solid job, but there's definitely some stuff for improvement, starting with myself.
They were 1 for 9 on third down this past Sunday.
Yeah.
What did you do that you want to carry forward?
I would say just carrying forward, I feel like this week we did a really good job of playing as a team. Like, I feel like everyone just did their job, snap in and snap out, and I feel like we just need to continue to carry that and then just hone in on the little details to take us to the next level. But I feel like this last week as a collective group was probably one of the better games that I've been a part of since I've been here, just from the defensive line to the linebackers to the secondary, all being on the same page and everyone going out there and doing their jobs, play in and play out. And I feel like that's what we kind of need to carry over. But now it's just those little details that we need to get better at. So thank you guys. Yep, thank you.